You could be the one who leases the car with the paddle shifters, the one whose Instagram story shows a boarding pass every 6 weeks, the one who says you only live once, like it's a philosophy instead of an excuse. Or you could be the one nobody notices, the one who orders water with lemon instead of the $14 cocktail, who drives the same Corolla for 11 years, who says nothing at all. Right now you are neither. You're standing in your kitchen at 11:42 on a Tuesday night, in the blue light of your laptop, looking at a number that makes your stomach fold in on itself. $211.40. That's what's left in checking after rent, after the car payment, after the Trader Joe's run you told yourself was just the essentials. Outside, a dog barks twice and goes quiet. The refrigerator hums its same tired note. You can smell the dish soap on your hands. Lemon something. Cheap. The kind that never quite gets the grease off. Your phone buzzes on the counter. A notification from your coworker's Instagram. She's in Tulum. Cream linen. A cocktail the color of a bruise. The caption reads, "Manifesting abundance." You look at it for 4 seconds too long. Then you look back at $211.40. There is a version of tonight where you close the laptop, order the noodles you've been craving, and tell yourself you'll figure out savings next month, the way you have every month for 2 years running. There's a comfort in that version. It doesn't ask anything of you. And there is another version, smaller, quieter, almost embarrassing in how little it promises, where you open a new browser tab instead, where you type high-yield savings account into the search bar with the specific, unglamorous shame of someone starting something for the 4th time, half expecting to fail again. You don't know yet which version of tonight you're going to live. Nobody does, in the moment. That's the part they never show you. Not the finish line, not the after photo, just this. A person in a kitchen, tired, underpaid, or overpaying, or both, deciding whether $50 a week actually means anything at all. The dish soap smell is still on your hands. The cursor blinks in the empty search bar. Somewhere across town, someone is stepping off a private jet stairway for a video they'll delete in 90 days when the algorithm stops paying attention to them. And here, in this kitchen, under this light, with this exact number, $211.40, burning quietly on the screen, you make a decision so small it doesn't even feel like one. You start. The first transfer is $50. You set it up standing at the kitchen counter, still in your work clothes, the top button of your shirt undone because it had been digging into your throat since 4 p.m. The bank's app asks you to confirm, twice, like it doesn't quite believe you either. You tap yes. Somewhere in a server room you'll never see, $50 leaves one account and lands in another, and nothing about your life changes. That's the part nobody warns you about, how identical everything looks in the first weeks. Same commute, same gray Tuesday light through the blinds, same ache behind your eyes by 3 p.m. You name the account Do Not Touch. It feels almost childish, writing that to yourself, like leaving a note on the fridge for a version of you that hasn't shown up yet. Week 2, you skip the $14 lunch bowl and eat the sad desk salad from the plastic container instead, the dressing pooled in the corner, and you transfer the difference, $9.37, into the account before you can talk yourself out of it. Nobody at the office notices. Your coworker in the next cubicle is describing, in detail, the tasting menu from Saturday night, the wine pairing, the way the chef came out personally to explain the foam. You nod. You say it sounds amazing. It does sound amazing. You go back to your salad. This becomes the shape of your months. Not dramatic, not a montage, just Tuesdays. You start noticing things you never noticed before. The specific click of the gas pump when you choose regular instead of premium. The particular quiet of a Friday night when you don't go out. Just you and a bowl of pasta and a show you've already seen twice. The apartment gets a certain stillness to it you didn't expect. Not loneliness, exactly. Something closer to a held breath. Somewhere in month 3, your friend Priya leases a car. Not a want. She says it like a fact, like weather. The paddle shifters, the cream interior, the payment, basically the same as her old one, she says. though you both know it isn't. You go for a ride in it. The seats are heated in a way that makes you sleepy, and the dash lights up soft blue at night, like something out of a dream you didn't ask for. You compliment it, you mean it, and then you go home to your same 10-year-old sedan with the rattle in the door panel at 40 miles an hour, and you don't transfer any extra that week, and you don't feel great about it, but you also don't touch the account. The number moves slowly, $600, then $1,150, then a plateau for 6 weeks where nothing seems to happen, where you check the balance out of habit more than hope, the way you check the mail even when you're not expecting anything. Your mother calls on a Sunday, the line a little staticky the way it always is, and she asks if you're doing okay for yourself. You tell her you're saving a little. She goes quiet for a second, then says, "Careful," like she's testing the words "good." Nobody ever regretted having something set aside. You don't tell her the number. You don't tell anyone the number. It sits there, private, unremarkable, growing the way grass grows. Nothing you can watch happen, only measure after the fact. There's a version of you, 6 months from this exact kitchen, that doesn't exist yet. You can't see her clearly. You just know she has more room to breathe than you do right now, standing here with the dish towel over your shoulder, the smell of onions from dinner still in the air, watching the account tick over $1,400 like it's nothing, like it's everything. You keep going, not because it feels good. Some weeks it feels like nothing at all, like discipline with the volume turned all the way down, but because some part of you, some old and stubborn part, has started to trust the process more than it trusts the story everyone else is telling. It's a Thursday when the check engine light comes on, not a dramatic flicker, just steady, orange, patient, like it's been waiting to say this for a while. You pull into the mechanic's lot the next morning, and the smell of motor oil and old coffee hits you the second you open the door. The guy behind the counter, kind eyes, grease under his nails, a name patch that says Ray, comes back 20 minutes later with a face that already tells you the number before he says it. Transmission, he says, 2,380, give or take. You hear yourself say okay in a voice that sounds calmer than you feel. You sit in the plastic chair by the window, the vinyl cold through your jeans, and you do the math in your head before you even open the app. $2,380. Your account, the one you've spent 5 months quietly feeding, sits at $2,150. For a second, something in your chest drops the way it does on the first hill of a roller coaster, that weightless, sick lurch. 5 months, $50 here, $9 there, skipped lunches, 100 small refusals, and it can be wiped out in one Thursday morning by a part you can't even see, buried somewhere under the hood of a car you didn't even want that badly to begin with. You think about closing the account right there in the chair, just pulling it all out, paying Ray, and starting over from zero, or worse, not starting over at all. What was the point, some tired voice in you asks, if one bad week can undo half a year? You could have had the tasting menu. You could have had the paddle shifters. At least then you'd have had something to show for the money before it disappeared. You call Priya from the parking lot, mostly to hear a voice that isn't Ray's. She's between meetings, distracted, and when you tell her about the transmission, she says, "God, that's the worst. You should just put it on a card, deal with it later." And you can hear, faintly, the blue-lit hum of her leased car idling behind her voice. You don't say anything about the account. It suddenly feels foolish too. Then you call your quiet ally instead, your Uncle Femi, the one who's driven the same truck for 14 years, who you've never once seen post anything online, who once told you at a cookout, almost embarrassed to admit it, that he'd never carried a credit card balance in his life. He listens. He doesn't tell you it's fine. He says that's exactly what the money is for. Not advice, really. Just a fact, delivered flat, the way Ray delivered the number. That's exactly what the money is for. You sit with that sentence longer than you expect to. You'd built the account like it was a wall. Sealed, sacred, do not touch. But Femi's saying it was always a door. You just hadn't opened it yet. You go back inside. You tell Ray to go ahead. You transfer $2,150 out of the account you've protected for 5 months, and the number on the screen drops to $0, and something in you flinches at the sight of it, raw and exposed, the way a bruise looks worse right after the bump. But you don't panic. You drive the car home 2 days later. Ray waves you off, the radio still tuned to the classic rock station you didn't set, and there's no crash, no spiral, no scramble for a payday loan or a maxed card. Just a quiet Tuesday where a system did the one thing it was built to do, and nobody was there to see it happen except you. That night you open the app again. You start a new transfer, $50. The account reads $50 instead of 0, and for the first time, the number doesn't feel like a scoreboard. It feels like breathing. The rebuild starts the same way the first one did. Quiet, almost boring. $50 on a Tuesday, $9.37 the week you skip the desk salad's fancier cousin. But something is different this time, though it takes you a while to name it. You're not scared of the number the way you were before. You've seen what it's for now. You've watched it do its one job, cleanly, without asking anything else of you, and that changes the way you look at the app icon on your phone. Less like a scoreboard, more like a smoke detector. Quiet, until the moment it isn't. Months pass the way they do when you've stopped counting them. You notice the changes only sideways, the way you notice a haircut growing out. Not in the mirror, but in a photo, weeks later, where you realize how different things had gotten without your permission. The account passes $3,000, then $5,000. Somewhere around $6,000, you stop feeling the loss of the $14 lunch bowl at all. It's just water with lemon now. It's just what you do. Priya leases a second car that spring. The first one's term is up already, and she says the new one basically pays for itself, in some math you don't ask her to explain. You go to her apartment for a dinner party in April, and she's telling a story about a boutique hotel in Tulum, how the infinity pool blurred into the ocean so perfectly you couldn't tell where one ended, and everyone at the table makes the appropriate sounds of envy, and you make them too, because you mean it, a little. It does sound beautiful. You don't say anything about your account. There is nothing to post about $6,400 in a savings account with a boring interest rate. There's no photo for it. It doesn't blur into anything. But 2 weeks after that dinner, you're at Femi's for a cookout, and his truck, the same one, 14 years old now, 15, is parked crooked in the gravel, like it's always been there, like it'll always be there. He's at the grill, tongs in one hand, beer sweating in the other, and when you tell him the account crossed $6,000, he doesn't smile big or make it a moment. He just nods, slow, the way he does everything, and says, "Good. Now let it get boring again." You laugh, but you understand exactly what he means. The account isn't a story. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to disappear into the architecture of your life, the way plumbing disappears into a wall, unseen, unglamorous, and the only thing anyone notices is when it's missing. By the time your birthday comes around again, the same birthday where, 1 year ago, you sat at a bar and did math about a car payment on a napkin, you check the number almost by accident, waiting for a bus, phone warm in your palm. $11,780. Not close to 6 months yet. Not close to the ceiling you set for yourself. But close enough to something you can feel in your chest without needing to explain it to anyone. You think about the two versions of yourself from that first Tuesday night. The one who leases the car, the one who says nothing at all. You are, more days than not now, the second one. Not because it's exciting, it isn't. There's no finish line photo, no caption, no cream linen catching the light. There's just a Corolla with 98,000 miles on it parked outside your building, a dish towel over your shoulder most nights, and a number that keeps climbing in a place nobody but you ever looks. Priya posts a new photo the following week, somewhere with white sand, somewhere with a name you don't recognize. You like it, you mean the like, and then you put your phone face down on the counter, and you open your laptop instead, and you check the account the way other people check the weather. Quickly, quietly, out of habit more than worry, before going back to whatever ordinary thing you were doing before. There's no ceremony to it, in the end. No graduation, no confetti, no video you'll post explaining how you did it. Just a Tuesday, 6 months and some change from that first night in the kitchen, where you check the app while the kettle heats up and the number reads $18,240, and you feel, not triumph, exactly. Something quieter than that, something closer to relief that's had time to settle into your bones and stop announcing itself. You think, sometimes, about the version of you who almost closed the account in that plastic chair at the mechanics. He's not a stranger to you. He's not even someone you're embarrassed by. He was just tired and scared and doing the math on a bad day, the way anyone would. You don't blame him for almost giving up. You just happen to know what he didn't yet, that the account was never the point. The point was becoming someone who could sit in that chair, hear a number like $2,380, and not fall apart. Priya still posts from wherever she is this month. You still like the photos. You still mean it mostly. There's nothing wrong with cream linen and infinity pools. It's just not the story you're living, and you've stopped needing it to be. What you have instead is smaller than a highlight reel and heavier than it looks. A dish towel over your shoulder. A Corolla with a rattle you've stopped hearing. A number that grew in the dark, the way roots do, out of sight, out of applause, out of anyone's timeline but your own. You'll forget most of the specific Tuesdays. The $50 transfers, the skipped lunches, the nights you didn't go out, they'll blur together the way ordinary days do, but you won't forget the shape of what they built. Not a highlight, not a flex, just a door, quietly built, that you know how to open now, whenever you need it, and just as importantly, one you know how to close again after.